Life is full of frustrations. You know that feeling well, right? That weight of not being able to achieve what you planned, of seeing your dreams slip through your fingers like fine sand. You can hide behind excuses or try to downplay the pain. But if you're honest with yourself, you know that's not going to change anything. What really transforms the pain is when you face frustration head-on and use it as fuel to power your journey. There's no more time to deceive yourself. The moment has come to be ruthless with your own limitations and frustrations, to use all of that as the energy that'll push you farther than you ever imagined. Do you want to keep being ruled by uncertainty? Or do you want to learn to use it to your advantage? Life's gonna change all the time. If you hold on to the idea that everything will always stay stable, you're setting yourself up for failure. Everything around you, whether in your personal life, work, or relationships, changes without warning. What do you do about it? Do you freeze up? Give in to fear? Or do you adapt and use the changes as fuel to grow? Getting comfy in your safety zone isn't going to get you anywhere. Nothing important happens there. What you need to understand is that uncertainty isn't something to avoid. It's an opportunity for reinvention. Every curve, every twist, you have a choice. Stay stuck in the past or move forward, accepting the changes and molding yourself to them. Now, you might think I'm exaggerating, that changes are tough, that they could throw you off track. But let me tell you something, you're fooling yourself if you think the path is always going to be predictable. And here's the biggest irony. The greatest transformations come from the unexpected situations, the moments you never thought you'd go through. This is your chance to turn from someone who fears change into someone who welcomes it. If you don't embrace the changes, you're setting yourself up for failure without even realizing it. The real question is, are you ready for this? Are you willing to ditch the fear and start preparing to grow right in the middle of the storm? A lot of people don't realize it, but the key to adapting is a crucial detail. You don't have to lose who you are to reinvent yourself. Adapting doesn't mean erasing your essence. It means learning to grow with it, evolve with it, explore new paths without leaving your roots behind. The real transformation starts when you realize the old doesn't have to be discarded. It can be the foundation for the new. You may have changed careers, cities, or relationships. That's scary. You might even feel lost at first, like the world is asking you to become someone else. But what the world is really asking is for you to use your adaptability skills. Turn uncertainty into an opportunity to grow on a broader, deeper level. Reinventing yourself isn't easy. It takes courage to face the unknown, wisdom to spot opportunities hidden in adversity, and, above all, perseverance to not give up when the path seems unclear. If you stay strong, ready to learn and evolve, you'll come out stronger. No matter how tough or uncomfortable the process, you'll become a new you. What you'll realize, though, is that adaptation will require more than just external changes. True transformation starts with your mindset. That's what sets apart those who evolve from everyone else. Are you ready to be more than you were yesterday? Are you ready to face what you fear and see it as a growth opportunity? Now, imagine how this connects with the next step in your adaptation. Let's talk about how to turn these experiences into something even more powerful. A lot of people are scared to expose themselves, to show their flaws, fears, and weaknesses. But what many don't realize is that real strength comes from embracing your vulnerability. I'm not talking about weakness in the sense of giving up, but being brave enough to recognize where you need to improve, where you failed, and then using that to become stronger. What people don't tell you is that the biggest obstacle to your growth isn't the circumstances or what others think of you. The biggest obstacle is your own fear of failure and being seen as vulnerable. The fear of exposing yourself makes you hide behind a perfect image that's actually preventing your evolution. You need to understand that failing isn't the end. You don't fail because you're weak. You fail because you're still learning. True strength comes when you have the courage to show your flaws and use them to get better. Vulnerability doesn't weaken you, it sets you free. I get it, this path isn't easy. A lot of times, we try to mask the pain, hide the insecurity. But every time you do that, you're denying yourself growth. Vulnerability is the foundation of real strength. Because when you allow yourself to fail and learn from it, you gain the freedom to be authentic. And authenticity is what earns respect, not just from others, but from yourself. The question now is, are you willing to accept your flaws as fuel for the next level? Are you ready to see your vulnerability not as a burden, but as a strength that'll take you to places you never thought possible? Let's take a look at the next step in this journey, where the courage to face your vulnerability connects directly with true transformation. I know you're tired. Tired of fighting, tired of pushing, and still feeling like you're giving it your all, but the pain just doesn't seem to fade. But here's the secret, pain isn't your enemy. It's the key that can unlock your greatest potential. Every time you feel exhausted, frustrated, and on the edge of giving up, you've got two choices, give in or use that pain as fuel. The pain you're feeling now is going to be the fuel that takes you further than you ever imagined. But only if you learn to use it to your advantage. Most people cling to pain as if it were a death sentence. They ask, why is this happening to me? And get stuck in that feeling of injustice. But let me tell you the truth, pain isn't punishment, it's a teacher. It shows you that you can be stronger than you thought, more resilient than you imagined. The problem is, when you avoid pain, you're also avoiding growth. If you don't allow yourself to feel the pain, you're blocking the transformation it brings. True overcoming happens when you choose not to let pain define you. It will pass, but you'll be a different version of yourself. And now, the big question, are you willing to face the pain, not as an obstacle, but as an opportunity? Are you ready to reinvent yourself, stronger, more determined, and more prepared for the challenges ahead? Every painful step you take now is going to bring you closer to what you're capable of becoming. Don't run from the pain. Use it to achieve the impossible. Only then will you discover what you're truly capable of. Have you noticed how people get comfortable? They find a comfort zone, a place where nothing really challenging happens, and they stagnate there. It's not clear to them, but they're missing the chance to reach true success. You know what the biggest lie they told you is? That life would be easy, that happiness would come without effort, and that being successful is something that only happens to the lucky ones. That's a fallacy. The reality is way different. What separates those who achieve their goals from those who fall by the wayside is their willingness to step out of their comfort zone. They don't wait for opportunities, they create their own. They don't let circumstances shape them, they shape the circumstances. I know, just like me, you've been in situations where your whole being wanted to quit. Physical and emotional exhaustion consumed you, and it seemed easier just to let everything go and be like the majority. But being like the majority won't get you anywhere. It's not easy to be the exception. To get where few get, it's gonna take more than effort. It'll take sacrifice, discipline, and an unshakable mindset. Every step you take towards your goal, you'll face doubts, insecurities, and even fear of failure. But here's the thing, you'll keep going down this path because you're different. You chose to be different. You're not looking for the easy way. You're after what's worth it. Don't let mediocrity be your companion. If you settle for good enough, you'll never know what you're truly capable of. The world is full of settled people. You're not one of them. Stand up, fight, and prove that you can be the exception. The biggest lie they told you was that you should avoid failure. That failing is something to be ashamed of. That if you mess up, your journey's over. Let me tell you something crucial. Failure isn't the end. It's the start of something much bigger. Failure is the fuel for true transformation. It might be hard to swallow, but here it is. Every failure you encounter along the way is teaching you something. Failed? Perfect! That means you've got something to learn. Messed up? Great! Now you know what doesn't work, and that already puts you ahead of the majority. While most people avoid the discomfort of failure, you've got to embrace it. Turn your failures into learning, and that learning will become your most powerful weapon. Failure isn't a reflection of your worth or ability. It's not a sign that you don't have what it takes. Actually, it's testing your determination. How bad do you really want it? Are you gonna get up after every fall? Are you gonna keep pushing when no one else believes in you? Are you gonna look at the mistake and ask, what can I learn from this? Are you gonna face the frustration and turn it into motivation? Because failing isn't the end, it's just a milestone that gets you closer to victory. When you fail, the journey's not over, it's just beginning. You're not gonna hide from failure, you're gonna learn from it. You'll use it to build a new plan, one that's stronger and smarter. Failure is inevitable, but real defeat only happens when you give up on learning from it. So next time you fall, ask yourself, what will I do now? Because failure isn't the end of the road. Failure is just one of the steps towards success. And if you know how to use it to your advantage, you'll be way more prepared to win. True transformation begins in pain. You won't find solutions in distractions or easy explanations. You'll find them within yourself, in the frustrations you refuse to face. By confronting them with courage, you become unbeatable. You start to realize that the only thing you need to move forward is already inside you, and that's what will define your success. Now, it's time to stop waiting for external changes. The only change that matters is the one that happens when you decide to be brutally honest with yourself and face the difficulties head on. How how will you use these frustrations? That's what will define your future.